Marcel woke them before the sun did. Up, he said quietly, nudging Malik's foot with his own. Daylight's about to clock in. Y'all gotta be on the water before it dusk. Cameron blinked awake to the dim glow of the lamp and the outline of Malik's shoulder next to him. For one soft, suspended second, he forgot where he was. Just warm body, thin blanket, the faint smell of rice and beans in the air. Then, the bayou noises filtered back in. The memory of the river. Angola's sirens. The fact that he was not supposed to exist anywhere but a cell. Reality snapped into place. He sat up too fast, the pallet creaking under the sudden shift. Easy, Malik murmured, hand brushing his back. Neck gon' hate you if you move like that. Marcel watched them quietly from the little kitchen, a mug of coffee in one hand, a serious look on his face. You sleep? He asked. A little, Cameron said. Enough, Malik added. Marcel grunted. Good, you gon' need it. He turned up the radio a notch. Static hissed, then cleared just enough for a clipped, official voice to come through. 2 inmates still at large after last night's escape from the Louisiana State Penitentiary, commonly known as Angola. Authorities described the men as dangerous and urged residents in the surrounding parishes to remain vigilant. Cameron's stomach nodded. The newscaster kept going, voice smooth, detached. Sources say the men may have used the rising river levels during yesterday's storm to access a drainage route. Search parties with canine units have been dispatched along the Mississippi and surrounding bayous. A different voice, a woman's, cut in. The reporter. Family members of one of the escaped inmates, identified as 25-year-old Cameron Baptiste of Baton Rouge, have declined to comment at this time. But one neighbor told us. Marcel, turn the radio off. That's enough of that, he said. They don't know nothing important anyway. Cameron stared at the blank face of the radio, ears ringing. Declined to comment, he repeated under his breath. That means they called my parents. Lamic's hand tightened briefly on his shoulder. They was gone here one way or another, Malik said softly. At least now they know you alive enough to piss the state off. Cameron huffed out a shake of breath. He wasn't sure if it was a laugh or a sob. Marcel set his mug down. They moved to the small table. 2 bowls of reheated rice and beans waited there, plus a stack of sliced bread. Cameron's stomach growled again, on cue. Eat, Marcel ordered. Talk while you chew. They did. I can take you about halfway in the pirogue. After that, y'all walk a bit, Marcel said, leaning over a rough pencil sketch on the table. There's an old fishing shack, paint peeled off, roof half gone. You wait there. He tapped a mark on the paper. I made a call last night, he went on. Friend of mine, Bernice, we call her Niecy, drives a produce truck, runs from this parish, into Baton Rouge and sometimes farther. She owe me a favor. She'll swing past the shack round 8. If she don't see you, she keep driving. I never made that call. And if she does? Malik asked. Then you two gonna be laying real low under a tarp full of collard greens and sweet potatoes for a couple hours, Marcel said. Niecy'll drop you on the outskirts of the city. After that, it's on you. On the outskirts of Baton Rouge? Cameron asked. That's close to home. That's why you ain't staying there. Marcel said, bus station on the north side. Don't ask you many questions if you pay cash and don't act stupid. You get yourselves a ride to New Orleans. Big city. Bigger shadows. And in New Orleans? Malik asked. Marcel hesitated. I got a cousin there, he said finally. Runs a little bar in the 7th Ward. Place called Levee Line. Name's Lorraine, but everybody call her Reenie. You tell her Marcel says the river's still hungry. He met their eyes in turn. You only say that if you convinced. She the one, opening the door. He warned, "Don't go shouting my name up and down the street. Too many ears that don't belong to you." "What will she do?" Cameron asked. "If she agrees to help." "Maybe she give you a back room for the night," Marcel said. "Maybe she point you at a man who own a boat he don't use for church trips. Maybe she tell you to get the hell out our bar and fend for yourselves." "Reenie do what Reenie do." "Sounds like a family trait," Malik muttered. Marcel's mouth twitched. "Etienne's don't like being told who to care about," he said. "But we ain't saints, either. You remember that when you knock." He slid 2 battered baseball caps across the table. One navy, one black. Then a small plastic bag holding a cheap prepaid flip phone and a folded scrap of paper. "This for emergencies," he said. "Not for checking the weather. Not for calling home. You burn in daylight. You burn in minutes." On that paper is a number in New Orleans. Not Reenie's. Somebody else. Last resort type. "You understand?" Cameron nodded. "Yes, sir." "Marcel," the older man corrected. "Marcel," Cameron said. Malik turned the cap in his hands. "Why you doing all this?" he asked. "Misi, Reenie, burners. You barely know us." Marcel looked at him for a long moment. "I know that place got my brother's memory trapped in it," he said. "I know the state don't lose sleep over which black boy they lock up as long as the file look neat. I know if I turn you in, I get a pat on the head and a good citizen certificate while y'all rot." He shrugged. "I'd rather have a restless night and 2 fugitives with a shot at something better wandering my memories," he said. "Selfish, if you think about it." "That's not selfish at all," Cameron said quietly. "That mean you ain't thought about it enough," Marcel replied. "Now finish your food. Boats don't wait on boys with full bowls." They left in a flat-bottomed pirogue, Marcel at the back with a long pole, Malik at the front, Cameron in the middle with the small bag Marcel had packed. Bread, dried sausage, 2 water bottles, a cheap flashlight, the phone. Mist cloned low over the water, turning the cypress knees into ghost fingers sticking up through the surface. Cameron watched Marcel navigate by muscle memory, pushing off roots and stumps without looking down. "You ever leave?" Cameron asked suddenly. "The bayou, Louisiana." Marcel snorted. "Tried it once. Houston didn't like me back." "Why not?" Malik asked. "Too dry," Marcel said. "Too many cars. Not enough people minding their own damn business." He angled the boat through a narrow cut between trees. "Don't let nobody tell you you gotta go far to be free," he added. "Sometimes you just gotta get to where the right folk look at you and don't see a crying first." Cameron thought of Puerto Rico. Of the way Malik had described it, all music and beaches and people minding their own business. Maybe freedom wasn't a single place. Maybe it was any spot on earth where nobody knew your DOC number. They pulled up to a low, muddy bank as the sky started to hint at gray. "Roads that way?" Marcel said, nodding through the trees. "You see a rusted sign that say no trespassing? You trespassing in the right direction." He steadied the boat while they climbed out, shoes sinking into the muck. Cameron paused, then turned back. "Marcel," he said, "thank you." Marcel studied his face, then Malik's. "You boys stay gone," he said. "You hear me? Don't get cute and circle back close just 'cause you missed the way to River Sound." He dug in his pocket, pulled out a small, worn St. Jude medallion on a thin chain. The metal was dull with years of being thumbed. "Patron saint of lost causes," he said dryly. "My grandma put this on my neck when I was 9. Figured I borrowed enough luck from it." He pressed it into Cameron's palm, folding his fingers over it. "You hang on to that," he said. "But don't go thinking it mean you invincible. It just means somebody, somewhere, rooting for the ones the world write off. Cameron swallowed hard. I'll take care of it. You better, Marcel said. Now go, for I remember I'm old, and this was a bad idea. Malik clasped Marcel's shoulder briefly. Tell Clay, he said quietly. We running for him too. Marcel's eyes softened at the corners. He know, he said. Go. They went. The shack looked exactly how Marcel had described it. Half its paint gone, the porch sagging, a no trespassing sign riddled with old bullet holes. Cameron and Malik waited inside the shadow of the doorway, listening for engines. The road beyond the trees was little more than packed dirt, puddles from last night's storm catching the early light. Malik checked the cheap watch on his wrist, another of Marcel's donations. She late? Cameron asked. You sound like somebody's auntie, Malik said. Relax. As if on cue, a rattling engine broke the quiet. A boxy white truck rounded the bend, rattling like it was held together by faith and bungee cords. The words, Nieces Fresh, were painted on the side in faded green. The truck slowed, then stopped, just past the shack. The passenger door popped open. A woman leaned across the seat, dark-skinned and thick-armed, with a headscarf tied high and sunglasses despite the weak sun. You two the ones smell like river and bad decisions? She called. Yes, ma'am, Malik said. Good, she said. Get in. Don't step on my tomatoes. They climbed up and squeezed into the narrow cab. The truck smelled like dirt and greens and motor oil. Missy eyed them both over her sunglasses. You Etienne's stray puppies, huh? She said. Figures. Man been taking in lost things since he was knee-high. Thank you for helping us, Cameron said. I ain't helping you, she said. I'm helping Marcel. You mess this up, he the one gotta live with it. She put the truck in gear. Now shut up till we hit the highway, she said. If I'm talking to nobody but myself, cops think I'm crazy. If I'm talking to two jumpy men in borrowed clothes, they start asking questions. They drove. The Baton Rouge bus station was exactly what Marcel had promised. Loud, busy, and too understaffed for the woman at the ticket window to care much about anything beyond exact change. 2 cash tickets to New Orleans. No names asked, no IDs checked. Now, seated near the back of the bus, Malik and Cameron watched the city roll past the windows as they headed east. Strip malls, gas stations, neighborhoods that looked like every other neighborhood they'd ever known. Cameron felt like his body was in one place and his brain in another. How you doing? Malik asked, quietly, their shoulders brushing with each bump in the road. I feel like I'm going to wake up back in the cell any minute, Cameron said. Like this is some kind of fever dream. Malik considered that. Could be, he said. But if it is, I hope your subconscious knows how to make a decent beignet. I'm hungry. Cameron huffed a laugh, the tension in his chest easing just a little. First thing you want in New Orleans is beignets? He asked. Not? Anonymity? A shower? A lawyer? Those too, Malik said, but also powdered sugar. I'm a complex man. When we get there, he said, we go straight to this bar, Levee Line. We see if Reenie want to be in a good mood today. And if she's not, Cameron asked. Then we got each other, Malik said simply. Ain't nothing changed about that. By the time the bus rolled into New Orleans, the sky was streaked orange and pink, the last of the day melting into the river haze. The city smelled like exhaust, fried food, and damp concrete. Traffic hummed. Music drifted faintly from somewhere, brass notes floating on the thick air. Cameron's chest tightened. He felt visible and invisible all at once. 2 black men in thrifted clothes with cheap caps pulled low. Just another pair of faces in a city full of them. Unless someone looked closer. Malik muzzed him. Head up, he said. Feet steady. We just two dudes in from Baton Rouge visiting a cousin. That's it. Easy for you to say, Cameron murmured. You look like you belong anywhere you stand. Malik glanced sideways at him, surprised. You do too, he said. You just don't believe it yet. They walked. The Levee Line wasn't in a tourist district. No neon plastered across the front. No plastic beads hanging from the awning. Just a small brick building on a block of other small brick buildings. Faded sign over the door. Levee Line Bar and Lunch. A lone string of white lights glowed in the narrow front window. Music seeped out when someone opened the door to step out and smoke. A slow, bluesy guitar. Ready? Malik asked. No, Cameron said, but I'm going anyway. Malik's mouth curved. That's my line, he said. Come on. They went in. Inside, the bar was dim and warm. A few regulars hunched over drinks at small tables. A flat-screen TV in the corner showed the news with the sound off. Behind the bar, a woman in her 40s wiped down glasses, her lokes piled in a scarf, gold hoops catching the light. She looked up when they stepped in, gaze flicking over them in a quick practice sweep. Shirt, shoes, eyes, posture. Kitchen's closed, she said. Bar's open. You got ID? You got a seat. We're not here to drink, Malik said carefully. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. We're looking for Reenie. You found her, she said. Who's looking? Friends of Marcel, Malik said, from up the river. One of her eyebrows lifted. Marcel don't have a lot of friends, she said. He said to tell you. The river's still hungry, Malik said quietly. The room seemed to shrink a little around the words. Reenie's eyes sharpened. She set the glass down. You said that again, she said. Slow. The river's still hungry, Malik repeated. She studied him, then Cameron. Her gaze lingered a beat longer on Cameron's face, on the worry lines between his brows. You the Baptiste boy? She asked. Cameron's stomach lurched. You know me? I know your people, she said. Seeing your mugshot enough this morning to get tired of it. Her eyes went to Malik. And you, she said. You got Angola written all over your shoulders. That a problem? Malik asked. Everything's a problem, Reenie said. Question is it my problem? She glanced at the TV. The news replayed silent footage of the prison gates. Helicopters, search boats on muddy water. Cameron's picture in the corner. She clicked it off for the remote. Marcel always did like strays, she muttered. All right, back room. Now, don't look grateful. It'll make me change my mind. She led them through a narrow hallway, past the bathrooms, to a small room with a couch, a table, and a cot. A box fan whirred in the corner, stirring air that smelled faintly of lemon cleaner and spilled beer. You stay here tonight, she said. You don't go near the front. You don't touch my register. You don't open that door for nobody but me. She pointed at the prepaid phone on the table. You called that number? She asked. Cameron shook his head. Not yet? Good, she said. Keep it that way till you gotta use it. That man don't owe you nothing. Favors like his come with fine print. She crossed her arms. In the morning, she said, we talk about boats. Maybe I know somebody running freight down to the islands. Maybe I don't. Depends how much heat I see on the news between now and then. Why are you helping? Cameron asked softly. If it's this risky? Reenie's gaze cooled, then warmed again, just a little. Marcel's my blood, she said. And my mama used to say, if the levee hold back every drop, the whole town drowns sooner or later. She tilted her head. You two look like a couple drops worth making room for. For now. She moved toward the door, then paused. Food's coming, she said. One of my bartenders are bringing. You pull any nonsense, I will personally walk you back to the farm. She shut the door behind her. Silence settled in the little room. Cameron exhaled slowly, feeling the day crash down on him all at once. Too many angels for 1 week, he muttered. I don't know what to do with it. Stop calling them angels, Malik said, dropping onto the couch with a groan. They regular folks with reasons. Same as us. He patted the cushion beside him. Come on, he said. We got a whole bed situation to argue about. Reenie's bartender, a quiet guy with tired eyes, brought them plates of red beans and rice and disappeared without much small talk. They ate, sitting on the floor, backs against the couch, TV off, box fan humming. When the food was gone and the plates stacked in the corner, the exhaustion hit them like a wave. Cameron stared at the cot, at the couch, at Malik. We should take turns, he said. One of us sleeps, one of us stays up, just in case. Malik yawned so wide his eyes watered. You asleep on your feet right now, he said. What you gonna do if somebody busts in? Quote case law at him? That might work, Cameron said weakly. Nah, Malik murmured. We both need real sleep. Reenie ain't stupid. She locked that front door twice. Anybody come through, she gon' need her first. He flopped back on the couch, stretching his legs out. You take the cot, he said. You bougie. Your body ain't built for couch life. Cameron sat on the edge of the cot, fingers twisting in the thin blanket. You're really not worried, he said. Oh, I'm terrified, Malik said. But can't do nothing about it when my eyes close in on their own. He squinted at Cameron. You coming over here? Or you planning on staring at that wall till morning again? He asked. Cameron hesitated. Reenie might come in, he said. We shouldn't do a whole lot of things we already did, Malik said. Serve from drainage ditches, remember? We just talking about sleeping close. Not a felony. Cameron snorted. Yet, he said. Still, he crossed the small room and climbed onto the couch. It was a tight fit. There was no way to lie down without touching. Malik settled on his back, one arm under his head. Cameron lay on his side, facing him, their knees brushing. The fan whirred. The muffled sound of music and low conversation filtered through the wall from the bar. You ever think, Cameron said quietly, about what we even are to each other? Malik's eyes opened. Right now? He asked, tired as hell. I'm serious, Cameron said. In Angola, it felt like we was the only real thing in a fake world. Malik finished softly. Yeah, Cameron said. He swallowed. I don't want it to be just a prison thing, he admitted. Some coping mechanism that falls apart once we're somewhere with actual options. Malik watched him for a long beat. Who said I want options? He asked. You see me shopping? You know what I mean, Cameron said. Yeah, Malik replied. I do. He shifted onto his side, mirroring Cameron, their faces inches apart now. Listen, Malik said. I ain't never done this. Not like this. Not with plans and rivers and faith and all that rolled together. But I know what it feel like when something is just about time and place. He reached up, fingers tracing a line along Cameron's jaw. This ain't that, he said. Not for me. Cameron's breath hitched. Not for me either, he whispered. Malik's thumb brushed his bottom lip, slow. When we get where we going, Malik said, we still gonna have that. The river, the bayou, Marcel's porch, this little room. They don't stop existing just 'cause we switch countries or clothes. He leaned in, kissing him softly. It wasn't hungry like the hallway, not desperate like the bunk, just gentle. Sure. Cameron's hand slid under Malik's borrowed t-shirt, fingers splaying against warm skin. Malik sucked in a breath, then relaxed into it, one leg sliding naturally between Cameron's. Heat flared, low and insistent. Familiar now. Welcome. They kissed slowly, tasting the day on each other. Fear, relief, exhaustion, hope. Malik broke away first, pressing his forehead to Cameron's. "We gotta sleep, baby," he murmured. The endearment slipped out, unguarded. Cameron's heart stuttered, then steadied. "Say that again," he breathed. "Sleep?" Malik teased. "Baby," Cameron said. Malik's mouth curved in the dark. "We get on that boat out of here," he said. "I'll call you everything I can think of. For now." He kissed him again. A little deeper, a little slower. "Baby," he whispered against his lips. Cameron smiled, eyes stinging. "Okay," he said. "Then hold me and we'll try to do the impossible again tomorrow." "Thought you'd never ask," Malik said, sliding his arm fully around his waist, pulling him close until there was no space left between them. They fit together like they'd been practicing for it their whole lives. Cameron tucked his head under Malik's chin, listening to the steady thump of his heart. Outside, New Orleans moved on. Cars, music, somebody laughing too loud on the sidewalk, somebody arguing over a bar tab. Inside the little back room at Levee Line, two men who were supposed to be numbers instead of names finally let their bodies unclench. Sleep came in slow waves this time, not the panic drop of exhaustion. Just before he drifted off, Cameron thought, "We made it to the city. We found people who saw us and didn't flinch. We're still together." For now, it was enough. Tomorrow, they would talk about boats and borders and what it really takes to disappear. Tonight, under the hum of a cheap fan and the distant echo of a lonely trumpet, they let themselves be what they were. Not inmates, not fugitives, just Cameron and Malik, just two men and the choice that had bound them together.